Let's go ahead and go to Howard in New York. Howard, you're on the air. Go ahead.
First of all, I said I disagree with you and I don't like you. I didn't say you suck or anything like that.
Okay, well, whatever. That's what they said you said.
All right. Second
You're
of all,
on the air now, sir. Go ahead.
give me 2 minutes to interrupt me, okay? Then you can say anything.
I know. You got
want.
to always act like you got the power and you're setting the ground rules. Sir, make your point or I'm going to hang up on you.
Okay. I've read your website a few times, and I've listened to a few guests you've had on. And I see all these articles you have on your website talking about Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, Ariel Sharon, and the like. And I feel, in my opinion, you're no better than George Galloway, no better than Ray McGovern, no better than Mel Gibson. In my opinion, I think you're an anti-Semite. And I just heard you say that Israel has 400 nuclear weapons. How do you know that? And if they did, they're the only civilized country in the Middle East, surrounded by a bunch of maniacs who want to bomb
hold on.
them.
This is all crazy here. Are you saying I'm lying about Israel having nukes?
Well, how do you know? Prove that.
Well, Mr. Morneau and a bunch of other people have come out, and Israel has admitted in a bunch of declassified documents because the media has only lied in the U.S. and said they didn't have nukes all these years, but now it's admitted. I mean, it's admitted, sir. You're saying I'm lying about that?
Well, I never read an article saying that.
Okay,
And
hold on. You don't want to put
me.
you on hold. Oops, I actually hung up on him. Listen, I can't do this with you, okay? I mean, I can't be in this delusional world with you. I can't do it anymore. All right, brother? I can't live in an imaginary world anymore. I won't do it. See, most Americans think if something's your opinion, that makes it so. He said, I'd like to see your article. I'd like to see your proof of that. They've arrested a bunch of their scientists that worked at these labs. They've had nukes since the early 1960s. The United States gave it to them. They've got, of course, former President Jimmy Carter, and then Israel got mad and said he released classified info. They said it was true. A few weeks ago said, hey, you got 200 and something nukes. That's how much he knew when he was in office. It's 400. The real number is more like 800. If you want to get technical, it's 800. But the mainline scholarly amount admitted the last time stuff got leaked in the early 90s was 400. They got German Dolphin subs. They've got cruise missiles, bombers, everything. And so I say Israel's got 400 nukes, whether it's 200 or 900, whatever. They got hundreds of nuclear weapons. It's hypocritical to say that Iran's going to get one when the UN and everybody else says, and our own CIA assessment says they don't have nukes. To then say, well, they might get one someday, so we want to nuke them. They've said, hit them with a bunch of strategic nukes, which then, by the way, will add and create isotopes with a ground detonation, much dirtier than a atmospheric, because then the atmosphere, it doesn't create a lot of fallout. The fallout's the combination of the reaction and the surrounding metals and compounds. You know what a little bit of cobalt will do? Just a little bit in the ground where that nuke goes off? I mean, let's say a little bit of cobalt in a machine at that base, and they have, by the way, cobalt and things there. Just hundreds of different metals create incredibly radioactive isotopes, and they want to hit them with hundreds of strategic nukes all over Iran at all their research sites, destroying their entire infrastructure. That will be thrown into the air, and we'll breathe it. Okay? So as an American who pays all this tax money to Israel, and I don't like it going to Egypt, Israel, Russia, China. I don't like it going to hundreds of countries. I'm against all this foreign aid. And Ron Paul comes out and says, I'm against foreign aid and gets, why is it? Do people say I'm anti-Egyptian because I'm against them getting foreign aid? You ought to go look at all the Nazi sites that attack me because, I don't come out and say Jews are the devil. So, but at the same time, I don't appreciate, and that's why Israel's lost so much credibility, is calling former presidents and calling anybody that's against attacking Iran an anti-Semite. When, both my grandfathers were in the Army Air Corps, and one of them crashed and almost died. The other was a gunner. One was a pilot, one was a gunner. And he never, until after he died, he just said, I was in the Army, and then we found out he was in B-17s and a gunner going into Germany. How dare you? When I almost don't exist, because my grandfathers both almost died fighting Hitler. How dare you? Now it's basically implied that America's Nazi Germany, and America's bad, and America has got to. And I'll tell you something too. I don't like the fact that Israel's been caught spying on this country so much. And I don't like the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu's mother founded the Mossad. He's known to be a dual citizen, and he is known to be Homeland Security head. He wants to use Israeli companies, this is Reuters, to run domestic checkpoints and train our police to have domestic checkpoints in America violate my Fourth Amendment. I wouldn't like a Mexican company doing that, or a Russian company, or an Israeli company. And it's my right under the First Amendment to say that I don't like that, and how dare you. When I almost don't exist, both my grandfathers almost died in the defense of this country in the air, and in the defense of the Jewish people, and the defense against Hitler, and you call here, and you go to a World War II veteran who fought for this country in the Pacific like Jimmy Carter, and you and say he's an anti-Semite because it's on video, Israeli police shooting Palestinian children and laughing. That's wrong. And then when you defend that, you then make the entire Israeli uniform disgraced. Just like when our troops torture people, they disgrace our uniform. It's people like that disgracing Israel and disgracing this country, not people speaking out against it. I mean, is this country a politically correct cult or something? I mean, Ray McGovern was a top CIA analyst for George Bush Sr. and Ronald Reagan. He reported before we attacked there was no WMDs and that they falsified the reports. That's now all come out. Is Scott McClellan anti-Israel? I mean, can't we just say we don't want World War III? The mainstream media is reporting that if they attack Iran for at least a year, we will have $12 a gallon gas. You know what that'll do to the rest of the economy? I don't want to have nuclear fallout. I don't want to kill more Arabs and Central Asians. I don't want bad things to happen. This is incredible. I have my First Amendment right to say I don't want war, along with 80% of the American people. And 80% of the American people know they're not anti-Semitic. Frankly, I never even think about Israel or Jews or people until the media brings it up and says, if you don't support nuking Iran, you love Hitler. How dare you? My very existence was threatened, and many of you lost your grandfathers and people fighting Hitler, and then we get called that. That is outrageous. We'll be right back with more news, stuff that actually matters, not little mindless diversions. They're coming to forcibly inoculate you. Stay with us.